Loud.
Morning.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, I was when you're making trees, it's really easy to just like follow the contour. And here is this is no different. I mean, you're trying to you want to achieve the curvature, but you also want to get like the accuracy. And so if you take a curve and you break it into its straight parts, it makes life easier. And then at the end, left side, right side, and I'm like trickling all the way to this little rounded tip. And after you get the left side, right side, left side, right side, I could actually even show you how these are separate components. And that's how I broke it down in my own mind. There's not necessarily a hard and fast rule. And then you can test yourself and you take a deep breath and take some confidence and you just nail that contour as if you're drawing it for the first time. Well, which we kind of are. I was evoking a tree too, because trees start wide and they get narrow as they go to the top.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are we
Please.
supposed to be like covering our entire page with this tail, or just doing it like a little bit? Like, are we going to be drawing a lot more, or?
It's such a good question. Such a good question. It's going to be a kind of a, I'm thinking like a small section. So let me show you what I mean. I have this is actually ridiculous. This is like ridiculously big. You would never bring this into the here. Here's my travel book. I'm going to France in a couple weeks. So I would take a book and I'd take a piece of paper and I'd like stand at the museum and I'd make these little teeny sketches. So I'm kind of just in the spirit of museum going. They don't like you to bring like big pads in. So you have to go small. So make these kind of small. We're not going to draw the entire Saint Michael battling the dragon. There's kind of just like too much going on, and I don't know if I'm up for drawing a 7-headed monster this early in the morning. But yeah, so these are just going to be there's some really elegant devices that he uses to create depth, to create form. And we're just going to explore those. So yeah, just make it a little section of the page. And as always, rule number 3, artistic independence. So if you wanted to do these stars and colors, I think that would be awesome. I mean, there would just be another way of having the theme and variation. So the theme is going to be these 6 pointed stars, I believe. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so there's 6 pointed stars. And they're actually kind of similar to a lot of times what people use the Star of Bethlehem is like 6 pointed. Sometimes it's like a longer middle section in the bottom. There will be theme. They're going to be big ones. There's going to be small ones. Then there's some like teeny ones that don't even have kind of the triangular dimension. So we'll see. Some people might get 10. You might just draw 1. There's no pressure. Okay, so this tail has these what are called bracelet lines, and it just runs up this left side. It's actually sort of, there's light sources going all over the place in here. So that's what's neat too about some of these like advanced, like when you have a drawing and you go to school, they're going to try to teach you with like a single light source. Like it could be, you could have 2 light sources, but really there's just like one spotlight or a natural light window, and everything has the same lighting. And then you get into these like super advanced figure compositions, and then like there'll be little groupings inside the larger composition that have kind of like their own light source. It's just really fun to I had a teacher that said you have to know the rules before you can break them. And studying Dürer, you're like, wait, you can't do that. Meaning the light looks like it's coming from the right side, whereas all the other light situations in the composition are from the left. But it's like, it's Albert Dürer. He can do whatever he wants. Oh, I took my bracelet lines up too high. Okay, cool. That's enough of that. I don't really even want to draw the snake tail, but I just wanted to get the tail in there so you could kind of know which, since all the stars are so similar to each other, I just wanted to get, oriented so that we know kind of loosely what star I'm working on. So I'm going to do this one star that's like just above, the bend in the tail. Okay. Oh my God, this looks so hard. All right, so I think there is a center point. So that's actually like the nice thing that we can get oriented on. There is a center line. And then the main shape that we're gonna have to draw is this, it's almost like a two-part ray or two-part triangle. So there's like a small triangle in the middle and then a spire that comes out. So here, and they all walk, and all these like triangle tips like lock together. So, and I might have a better way of explaining this, as I draw it. So I'm going to do my first, my first triangle, and then there's one right below it. So maybe I'll just do another one. So in my mind, I'm thinking about the clock. There's like 12 o'clock is at the top and then 6 o'clock is at the bottom. All right, I'm going to start over. No, I'm not going to start over. I'm looking at the book and I'm drawing mine almost the way I'm drawing my star is like almost directly vertical. And I think it's actually tilted to the left a little bit, but it doesn't matter if it's tilted or not tilted. There's still one going up and one going down. And then if you divide, if you do one, like a line that goes from, 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock, like directly across, then that becomes the next large triangle. Oh my God, that was good. I don't know how to use my words to describe what I just did. I'm just going to try and repeat it. And it does look like each one of those, call them swords. I'll just call them like sword shapes. Each one of those sword shapes has like a ridge in the middle. So that's interesting too. And then there's also a space between. When I say space between, I mean there's like a line between them. And then there's a line in between those. Wow. Okay. So I'm just going to do the center. There's like a ray that shoots out in the middle. And then I think there's a ray in between those as well, like a little teeny guy. So we have this shape that has this ridge in it. And then we have just these marks. It's a big one flanked by two little ones. Okay. Okay, that was harder than I thought. Like that was good, but it's also good. I'm gonna try to secure my silhouette, and just now that I know what things are, I might shore up those lines a little bit, darken them with my pencil. This is where I would, if I was working in pen, I would hit it with a pen. Whoa. Okay, so just relative to the tail here, there's the one that we just did, and then there's one that's the bottom left, and then there's like three that like flank the tip of the tail. So I'm almost scared of those three. So I'm going to go down to the one that I think looks like a little bit easier, which is the one below it. And then we'll see. There's like, it seems like there's like the ones that, and I don't know if they're supposed to be the little ones. See the little ones next to it? Are they supposed to be far away? Or are they supposed to be like on the same plane, but like just smaller? I don't know. Okay, cool. I just discovered something, which I don't know if this is true, but look at this one, how there's like this cross, there's like an actual 90-degree turn, like a cross in there. And then one of them is turned into the swords. And then one of them is the free line. Okay. It's just, I like to go for the easy answer, and I just see this diagonal. And then I see a 90-degree counter to it. That feels like an easy answer to me, because everybody can make it an X that's 90 degrees. Okay, and then I'm going to do my initial sword, my little triangle base, and then the long extended triangle to the corner. Do my little, almost like a V. Yes. Okay, it's like a short stubby V, and then you flip it upside down, and you can make a larger V. Then that original cross section, now that becomes the guide for adding more sword tips. More sword tips. That was a cool way. That was a cool way of doing it. So we're kind of learning the anatomy of these stars. And, there's many, I'm sure he had an order which was efficient, where he was just able to crank it out, because there's so many of them. And you can get good at it, whatever your method, whatever you choose your method to be. Yeah, this one doesn't have this one does have the rays that shoot out, but they don't have the secondary rays. Okay, so that's our first kind of variation that I can tell. The one that we did up here has secondary rays, like the smallest ray, and then this one does only have the middle sections. Nice. This one seems to be kind of framed. The one we just did seemed to be framed by just 6 points. It's almost like an asterisk. Is it an asterisk? Yeah, so there's 3 that cross. So if I did it larger over here, it would look like this. It'd be like criss cross, 1, 2, 3. And that's going to get you an asterisk. Now, is that how he built all of the... I wonder if he started with that to get the swords. All right, I'm free-forming this one, people. So I just did an asterisk right here. 1, 2, 3. And then if I built a sword off of this one, and then a sword off of this one, a sword off of that. I'm doing something wrong. That one felt clumsy. Anyway, there's still the rays that come out of that one. So this is where I'm going off the reservation a little bit. And actually, I might even do the smaller ones just because they look so pretty when they have the smaller rays. They're just so much brighter, more active. I like that star the most. All right, let's do this in the little guys. Let's get some free answers. So it goes a vertical and then a crisscross. Yes, that's how it goes. In your mind, you find the center of one, and then you do an X through that. I'm pretty sure that's how he's getting it. Look at this one right here. Where did I say that one? That one right there. It's a vertical with a crisscross. Vertical with an X. And so, well, I guess then this one looks like a starfish. One, two, three, four, five, 6. That might be the way to go too. So I don't know if you saw this one up here, but I did this. I did a V. Then I attached another V. And then I attached a third V. You can also get 6 sides like that. And they don't necessarily run right through the middle. This one, I don't know if this reads as a mistake, but there's a 5-pointed star up there. And I think it just didn't show up in the print, with every other star being 5 points. Oh yeah, look at these ones. I'm gonna zoom up a little bit. I just found another type all the way down here. So these are the asterisks, that they're larger asterisks, and they have rays that come out of them. So there would be a vertical, a crisscross, and then you have the rays coming out of the center of each one of those. That's a good one. All right, we're populating the sky with stars. That was a 7-pointer. Let's see. Vertical, crisscross, vertical, crisscross, vertical, crisscross, vertical, crisscross with the middle sections. All right, now I have to like fill in the gaps, I suppose. There's a big one up here, long vertical, and then big crisscross. I'll do one more for the people. 1, 2. Here's this shield, with that sword, and then I'll draw one line in between, and then that should be able to get me a shield here, a shield there, a shield here, a shield there, and a shield there, and a shield there. Then I have the center of each sword, and then the spray, and then the miniature ray. And every one of these gets to have its own color if you're messing with color pencils. Look at this little one. I'm going to do a little one. Vertical, crisscross. Okay, somehow I pulled it off. This is nice. Look at how some of these rays, their tips almost extend further. It's interesting too. It might be kind of pretty. You know, the longer these little star tips. And it's just interesting because it is a star, you know, like, are they coming, you know, are they actual like constellation stars, or are they stars that occurred because like the heavens opened up? Is that what happens when, like, you know, when heaven and earth like meet, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like almost like the special effects of a movie, like with the transition between realms. I don't know, it's cool. I don't think they are like constellation stars, but they're definitely inspired by, you know, how are you going to draw this phenomenon, which are, you know, stars. It's 10:59, so yeah, let's do just a minute or two more, and then we're going to look at some clouds. It's a different phenomenon, but it's fun how he takes you back in space. Okay, hopefully this wasn't too boring. I think it looks good. I mean, it looks cool. And I think for the most part, which is also kind of a, you know, a side note, interesting, I think the only star that seems to overlap at any point is this one at the very end, the very tip of the tail. There's like that triad of stars, which we didn't even address, but nothing else is overlapped. That might be, that I think, and that's also true for stars. If you look at the night sky, the stars aren't overlapping each other. I mean, they can get close, but that's really interesting too. They are really, spaced out. What is it? I mean, is that even a thing? Like two stars kind of like being so close, they look like one star? I mean, we don't see it here, but maybe if you go off into the, where there's no city lights, that can happen. Yeah, and and the other sidebar component is if you look at how these stars are designed, like, is there a thread? Like, do you see how this row of stars kind of echoes the direction of the tail? That leads me to think that he drew the tail first and then filled in the gap, like did the big stars and then filled in the gaps with the small stars. That's not that interesting, but it's kind of interesting, when it's the question of like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? It's like, well, what came first, the monster's tail or the stars? And I would argue that the tail did come first, and then he designed the the stars around it. And they do make these little, like, you do want to get like a nice range. I mean, this is a nice range of stars in here: big, medium, and then a cluster of 4 small. Then there's like a big medium in the middle, and then there's 5 stars around that. I hadn't thought about that. If I did it up a little bit higher, you have one big star in the middle, vertical crisscross, and then it's flanked by little ones. That's kind of nice. I mean, there isn't, what I'm saying is that there's an order to it. There's a design happening. This is not just, it's not, even though it looks like they're spread out like willy-nilly, Dur doesn't really do anything willy-nilly. So, okay, that's nice. That was a good warm-up though. You guys want to just, I mean, it took a half an hour. I did not mean for it to take half an hour, but that's how it goes. I'm going to stop the share, and if you guys just want to like hold them up, it'd be great. I'd love to see them. Amelia, I've got you first. I just want to hold up real quick. I'm not trying to like, we're not doing like a big critique. I just want to see them. Make sure that
I'm not done. I'm not done mine yet, and I think I made my tail too small compared to my stars.
No way. Yeah, I mean, whatever. The tail really is arbitrary. The stars are really nice though. Okay, cool. Thank you. Sebastian, I got you up next. Can I see yours? Yeah, that's a great page. It's such a pretty, it's so simple in one sense, but then it escalates quickly. Yeah, nice. Thanks. Madeline, can I see yours?
Please, yes, I don't know why I did this, but mine's like on a billboard, so that works.
Oh wow, it's so meta. Yeah, it's on a billboard and then it's also in the sky. Janai, can we see yours? Thank you, Madeline. It's the art corner. We're making some stars. Yeah, and actually that use of the sketchbook is like kind of what I was envisioning. Not that you can do it any way you want, but that's good. Okay, cool. Thank you for that. Noah, are you in the house? Sorry, I let you in late about that. You didn't miss much though.
All good. That's what I got.
Yes, those are very clean. Good. Yeah, looks like you're drawing point to point. Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
And let's see. Dara. And I think Toby's next. There we go. Oh my gosh, look at that page. Yeah. I think the boldness of your pencil, like it looks just like Durer. I mean, that like it holds up, it travels really nicely. Yeah, the contrast really does make things very strong. Good work, dude. Good work. Simone, I'm replacing your screen with Dara's. How'd you do?
So I thought we were going to draw the entire thing, so I didn't draw anything yet.
Okay,
'Cause when I draw the entire thing, I usually start from the head and go down.
got it. For
So-
the whole dragon.
Yeah.
I don't think we're drawing dragons. Well, we're gonna do the we're gonna do clouds next. But if you
Okay.
want to draw the dragon, we can do. Maybe we'll draw a dragon today. We'll do St. Michael slaying the dragon. There's also a there's an angry moon that keeps showing up in these prints that are hilarious. It's definitely an angry moon though, so I'm like, I don't know if I want to bring that energy into it. All right, let's see Naomi. Can we see yours? Oh yeah, cool. Nice. Yeah, it looks like you like, oh, and I didn't even think about that. It looks like you erased them, but like at the same time, just the ghost of those, just like having a lighter star and darker star, you could definitely play off of that. All right, does anybody want to show that hasn't shown yet? I got like Fisher, Jackson, Action Jackson.
I can show.
All right, I think replacement. Jackson, that's you, boss.
I-
Can I see? Oh, great. Yes. Yeah, you got the hang of it. You got the hang of it. You got the hang of it. Good. All right, awesome. And then what else? Was it Fisher? And then Ellie's up there. What's up, guys? Dag, clean. You're on mute, but that's fine. That's great. Yeah, I'd much rather look at a tree than a dragon tail. Good innovation. Ellie, yeah, not Toby. Sorry, that might have been effective. Yeah. All right, that occupies that corner so well. And there's, see how much real estate there's left on the page too. That's great work.
Yeah.
Okay, good theme variation. Yeah, that's very on point. Nice job, all. Okay, cool. Thanks, everybody. All right, so in the way that these were like not overlapping and that they occupied this like, you know, top right hand corner of the picture, the this next one does, and I'll show, maybe we'll explore the I'll look at the whole, maybe we'll look at the whole piece a little longer so I don't have to draw the entire time. There's stars. Where are my clouds? This one is 153. Look it up. Screen share. Still recording. Second camera. Okay, cool. 153. Okay, so I don't know what book it comes from. It's called The Vision of Seven Candlesticks. And I was like really kind of blown away by these clouds and how clean they were. Let me zoom up. It is a little, oh cool. He uses stars in this one too. All right. It's kind of far away, but it pays off. Okay, so this is the whole, basically the whole composition. Focus, focus, focus. It's a big Albrecht Dürer book. So there's a dude that seems to be sitting on top of a rainbow, who's got a halo, and he's got like a hand of stars, like he can like throw them. He's holding a book, and then there are 3 candlesticks on this side, 3 candlesticks on this one, and then one in the middle. This guy is kneeling in prayer and devotion. So I mean, I don't know. I'm not a Dürer scholar. I'm actually not even a biblical scholar, but this, I mean, it definitely looks like a heavenly being of some kind. And then, so it's it may, who knows? It may have been a vision that the artist had himself. What I want you to pay particular attention to, though, and what we're going to go over, is this train of clouds that march, all the way from, they, believe it or not, they start all the way in this bottom left-hand side of the picture, and they bring you all the way back, kind of like all the way up the side, like framing out the picture. So the central figure seated on the rainbow, he obviously demands all the attention. He's the largest. He's like, elevated in the picture. He's on the central axis. He's framed out by these clouds. So we'll do the candles, and then I kind of wanted to start with the clouds, though, just to get the hang of it. And then these candlesticks are great. And historically, yeah, having a vertical composition is really helpful for the way that the Zoom call works. And learning how to do clouds and learning how to go back in space with clouds is a really good skill. So I get that these drawings are a little bizarre. I mean, they're German, like Renaissance, so it's like a whole nother time, but there's still really good aspects to learn. Okay, there we go. Yeah. And I might actually do pencil and then hit it with pen. So that is, I think that will be a thing this time, because the the idea of like getting the hang of it, I think it's better to get the hang of it in pencil. And then once you really know what the heck's going on, then you can hit it with the pen. Okay, hopefully it doesn't take that long. Oh, Bales, you guys want to see my dog? He just made a stinky. It's cord. And he's snoring. The sound. Oh, there he goes. Hey, Bales. Hey, Bales. He's deaf too. We should draw Bailey. Oh, he's so sleepy. Bailey, why are you so sleepy? He's can't keep his eyes open. Good boy. Good boy. Oh, he's going back down. There he goes. 3, 2, 1. And he's asleep again. Okay. Sorry, that was an intermission. That's what you get. That's why it's so nice to work from home. You get to have your dog. I'm sorry for all of you guys that are allergic to dogs. Hope I didn't upset anyone. All right, that looks straight. This looks straight. Okay, Simone, we're drawing the clouds, so feel free to start sketching. Don't wait for the green light. It's always a green light. Yeah, and then these candlesticks are going to be sweet too. Maybe I'll like throw in a candlestick up here. Where's my pencil? Okay, yeah. Boom, 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 boom. So these are not cylindrical, they're trapezoidal. And I'm only doing this for context, just so I can see where we might be. Oh, that's fun. There looks like there's a little wax dripping off. There's a really quite an epic flame. Boom, boom. Is it in focus? It is, right? I feel like it's not that well in focus. Come on, camera. Do what the camera does. Yes. There it is. Okay, so if I slowly move out, it will adjust along with us. Okay, thank you. I promise you that this camera is the best thing going. I've had a couple different ones. Oh my goodness. All right. So what really cuts off the clouds is this little dish that's at the bottom. And it's just there to catch it's the candlestick. All right, so this is where we're going to begin the clouds. So there's like kind of like one arc puff over here. And then that big puff gets divided into smaller puffs. And this is where you draw clouds like when you're a kid and you draw like clouds like this. And then like that. And then like that, whatever. It's just kind of nice, like when you're not off. You know what I mean? Like this is the greatest artist, one of the greatest artists to ever live, and he makes clouds just like you would if you were like three, or like you're picking up a pencil for the first time. He does do a couple things that are like slightly more intelligent in terms of layering and showing this cloud's in front of that cloud, in front of that cloud. And then even within a cloud, there can be clusters that are in front, clusters that are equal, and then clusters that are behind. So watch this one. So I'll do this to here and this to here, and then I'll do another cluster that's kind of behind that. So even within, and we'll explore how that works. Like this puff is in front of that puff, which is in front of this row of puffs, which is in front of this row of puffs. And it's like that layering of the clouds that will take us, back, back in space. So I'm just like trying to anticipate this adventure. And it's very highly silhouetted in terms of the mark. There seem to be some like internal clusters, like there's a couple, shadow marks that might implicate the kind of like the underplane or the side plane of certain clouds, like some bracelet lines, but it's muted. And then the other factor that you don't necessarily take into account, which I hadn't even, is that there's these are the light clouds that are in the front, and then there's like a blue sky behind it. And I'm just saying blue because that's my experience with most skies, that they're blue, but not necessarily. I mean, there's these straight lines that that frame out the if you're working on white paper, you can't just like add white to white paper and have it show up. So one would have to then, how are you going to make clouds look white? You have to shade what's around it. So I'm not actually copying his thing right now, but I am using the principles. These are light clouds up against a dark blue sky. And then the other wild part is that like, this is the, the God character or whatever. He's surrounded by like a light halo. And then there's a dark cluster of clouds that is along that edge. So there's more things going on, especially up here. Like look at this like row, this division between the sky and wherever this character is coming from. It's neat. It's neat. But the thing I'm most interested in, you can see the black line here. This is the edge of the picture. So the clouds, in fact, do get cropped by the composition. So the right side of this cluster is actually off screen. Just in anticipation to that, but it's going to be interesting to see how on this flat piece of paper how we create this dimension of clouds going back into space. And then I guess we'll have to draw a dragon head. All right, so let's just try not to make too much of it. And when I say don't make too much of it, I mean you don't need to be copying exactly what you see. We're trying to get into the spirit of these clouds, not necessarily copying every exact poof. All right, so there's this big cluster here on the right, there's a cluster on the left, And then the path kind of goes, the clouds angled to the right. So let's just make this original poof. You know, we're going to turn it. We're going to do the clouds behind it. And how does this cloud on the right feel like it's behind? Well, we've got some shadows there. And then the cloud wants to keep going to the right here, but you get it goes off screen, like I was just mentioning. So it almost bounces off of the side of the painting, and then it curves back to the left. There's a poof here. There's a poof there. There's a poof here. So now if you know, imagine this S curve. So I'll just draw an arrow for the clouds. Like the arrows, the clouds started moving to the right, then they turn this corner, bank back to the left. Now you know, now that it looks as though they're kind of climbing up, you know, which is interesting because that's kind of like where the heat from the candle and where the smoke from the candle would be. I never thought about it like this, but the column of clouds almost frames off the implied direction of the candle. So let's make this set of poofs angle up, and if anything, maybe to the right. Maybe it just gets wider. Nice. There seems to be this little, almost like this little hairpin turn right here. Or maybe it's starting to spiral under itself. So where this column of clouds kind of ends is in this cluster poof up here on the left. So it kind of shuts off right here. And then we get this successive layering that really seems to go back into space. So these are where this was like one column of cloud. I'm just going to close it off at the top. And then this is where the clouds seem to be going back into space. Just this cloud above it. And it is, I mean, you can, I don't know what it is that causes clouds. It's like the barometric pressure or something. It's like, and somebody with a science mind or experience can teach me, but like, do you see how the clouds are flatter here? When you look off into the distance, like the clouds can only come down so far because there's, you know, atmospheric pressure. So the, you know, all of that humidity stays up at an elevation based on, you know, like, you know, environmental factors, which we don't really know, but it is interesting that this column almost feels like smoke coming from, you know, not like a source necessarily, but it's almost like we're above looking down. And then these with the flat bottoms, they really feel like they're far back. And then I'm going to use artistic license because I don't want it. I want it to fit on the screen. So I'm going to go really small with that one. Uh-oh, people are in the waiting room. Who's in the waiting room? The you. Fisher must have gotten bumped off. Fisher, you back?
Recording in progress.
The Fishers are back. Good. All right, people, let me move this down. What do you think? Should we do, I'm going to do a couple, you know, they're not all full-blown silhouettes, but like, it's almost like you're shading the background here. And I'm going to put in, you know, the indications of where those horizontal lines are. It's a really nice, it's really is, I think, a nice background for these clouds, it just makes them really pop. You know, I mean, not only do the contour lines make it pop, but you know, the dark background make it pop. And I'm getting really close to the pen. This is where these clouds on the side, they're like dark clouds silhouetting. Yeah, I don't know if they're storm clouds or not, but ooh, I'm not that scared. I'm a little bit scared. Oh man. All right. This I'm using the pen that I have. My actual collection of pens is at the school. One of my students gave it to me for my birthday, and I love it. The pens that I have here are all random. This one, I'll show you which one it is. I got this from Michael's. It's a Faber-Castell, Faber-Castell. It's a really good brand generally, and there it is. They come in all these different sizes, and this is an extra small, which might actually be working against me. Sometimes you want fatter lines, sometimes you want thin lines, and I think with the woodcut, you can actually tell like the silhouette of the clouds is a thicker line than the background. So that's kind of nice if you're drawing, you know, with pencil or whatever. Know that you can make the silhouetted edge of these clouds, you know, bolder. But when you're working, like for me, with me having this very thin line, I have to like go over the line 2 or 3 times in order for it to stand out. Whereas if you had a nicer pen, or you had the appropriately sized pen, you wouldn't have to go over it. But I don't mind going over a couple times, especially since I'd rather almost have the small one so I can have the thin lines for the background. But then I have to be really smart about not going over those lines twice. So, the candlestick is so interesting because we just went over the tail. So the dragon tail, where it had you know, bracelet lines, and it started thicker at the bottom and got thinner as it moved to the top. So even though it's a completely different object, it's in the same part of the design, and it has very similar properties, and it has the same lighting, meaning the bracelet lines on the left. So, you know, we talked about theme and variation with the, you know, internally with just the stars. The stars were just, you know, big stars, small stars, huge stars, you know, all had 6 points. That's a theme with the star. There's variations in the scale. These clouds, you know, they're all poofy puffs of ephemeral, you know, water vapor. And we're drawing them with these kind of like contour clusters of, you know, curves. So there's themes with the clouds, then there's variations. Now, we've noticed that there's also themes that run throughout the entire composition. So like one painting to another painting, you know, this candle having the same lighting arrangement as the star was the same. I mean, not the star, but the tail. Oh my gosh, Stacy's in the waiting room. Should we let Stacy in? Whoa, it's about to get loud.
How long she's been there? Also, I like references.
She texted. She did text.
What the heck is his beard holding the sword? Why is the sword there?
Yeah,
It's
it's. I don't know if you know that you're on speaker, but I will move it over so you can see it. I don't know. I don't know if the sword is like the word.
Look at the
I
flame.
think it does say the word.
There
Yeah,
are
there's
literally
like
flames coming from his eye.
anyway.
It looks like he's wearing
It
one
looks
of
like the sword is coming from his mouth.
like old gays costume parties. One of the weird masks.
Wait, where's Stacy? Here she is. She's here. There she's connecting. Right, here come my clusters.
With one leg tucked up and one leg stuck out like Corbett. It's so cute.
Sometimes Stacy's computer doesn't work. Or like the audio doesn't work. I don't know if you can see, I mean, it's hard to tell. I mean, I have to verbalize it, but with the pencil lines there, with the inability to erase with a pen, my mindset shifts a great deal. Because when I'm sketching with pencil, it's not that I'm like reckless. It's just I just don't it's almost like consequence free because I know that I can always erase it. When I have my pencil, when I have my pencil marks and I'm using the pen on top of the pencil gives me a lot of confidence, and it's the confidence that I need because there's no erasing the pen. So the pen mark has to stay where it is, and then it also has to, if I get it wrong for some reason, I need to go with it. So I guess that's the difference in the mentality, is that I'm in like a production mode where I know there's no coming back. There's no correcting it. And it's actually really freeing in some ways. knowing that you have to, every move has to be you have to be committed. Stacy, is your audio working? Wow, look at this one. This one, there's all of these little poofs. And I guess there's starting to get little poofs up there. Also, side note about the word poof.
I was just going to say something about the word poof. It's a great word.
My brother-in-law, nicknamed his dog Poof because she was so fluffy when she was a puppy.
Aww.
And so every time I say Poof, I have like a really positive association. 1, 2.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Amelia.
You know, like white markers or white colored pencils, if you were to color with them, I don't really notice a difference. Do they actually make a difference in making the page whiter?
No, that's the thing. That's why it's so important to do the straight lines with the background. Where they do work really well is on toned paper. So if you have like gray paper or tan paper, or like if you're drawing on construction paper, then they really are able to shine. That's kind of like where their use is most experienced. Hold on a second. I have to mute myself. Sorry about this for a second.
How's everybody doing today?
I can talk again. Kristen's bringing lunch home. I'm very excited.
Nice.
Getting an acai bowl.
Nice.
Yeah.
She's the
Okay.
best.
Now, working with pens. Sorry, Stacy, I didn't mean to cut you off, but the only thing I was going to say about these pen business is that you kind of got to let it dry. You got to let the ink dry before you start erasing the pencil, or else it'll smudge. Stacey, I'm so glad you came. I wasn't worried, but I was wondering where you were.
I'm so glad too. I was here for the last class, but I was in jail for a long time.
Oh.
Everybody, I call the waiting room jail.
Yeah, drawing these horizontal lines. I wonder if it would be easier if I had like a straight edge. I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna see if a ruler will work. I'm sure it will. I don't know if it'll work better though. There's something nice about having like an organic line, but then there's something really nice about having using a ruler, having a perfectly straight line. Does that look? Oh my gosh, that looks so good. So I didn't
Yeah.
pull out a ruler. I just pulled out one of my one of the post-it notes because I'm obsessed with post-it notes. And I'm just making sure that I don't cross over. I'm starting the background up against the line of my clouds. So I don't want it to bleed in. So, but I need it to be in contact with the silhouette. And it is the contrast between how thick my cloud lines are and how thin my independent horizontal lines are. Wow, that looks cool. And then I'm gonna move my page over a little bit. The wood block itself has a very dark silhouetted edge. The wood block is framed by a black line. So I'm gonna put that in there. What I was lamenting this really thick pen at the beginning because I knew the drawing was so delicate, but for the silhouetted edge, for the frame of the picture, that the big pen worked really nicely. So now I know where I can pull my lines to. I wish I had that before. So now I have to connect them, and that's not easy. But it might even have like an interesting effect. I'm hoping very much that my pen is dry so I can erase these pencil lines. Yeah, it's just amazing how clean all these lines are. Bailey went downstairs. I know Durr would do the drawings, and then I think it's my understanding that he would do a lot of the cuts. So you'd make the drawing into the wood, and then you'd like basically carve out all of these lines, so then you could then run it through the through a printer and make many copies. And I believe that he did both the drawing and the cutting. Some people would kind of like outsource the cutting because it was so labor intensive, and it was just more time effective to have other people help you. But things got lost in that process. Like I said, Durr was a one-man renaissance.
These lines are really interesting.
Thanks. Yeah, he's an interesting. So Stacy, keep going on that. Which part? What are interesting?
So I'm not referring to the horizontal lines. I'm referring to the curved lines that are around the edges of the, please tell me they're clouds or smoke. Which are they?
Yeah, they're clouds.
Okay.
I thought they might have been smoke too. And I think that if he had to, if you had to make clouds, it's called this title piece is called The Vision of Seven Candles. And there's like 7 elaborate candlesticks.
Yeah.
And there's no smoke coming from the candlesticks. So if you're making clouds and your clouds kind of look a little bit like it could be smoke, it would be compatible with the theme of the picture.
Okay. So what I'm referring to, the lines that are around the edges of the clouds really help with the feel of the dimension of the clouds and the depth.
With like the layering. Yeah,
the layering, and also the what word do I want? The dimension, the 3-dimensional quality.
So we talked about the layering. This is also one of those times where you could almost like, there's so many little poofs, like there's so many curves that you could just find yourself just doing the same thing and repeating it over and over again, almost like mechanically and mindlessly. And I would say that you should try to be mindful in the sense that you're making a cloud. So as you do these lines, as you almost feel like you really got a handle on how to make these cloud contours, which, believe it or not, I'm actually feeling really kind of confident in how I'm making these puffs. Like I can see that they're, some are small, some do overlap, some don't overlap. But what I've been kind of how I've trained my brain to think is, even no matter what mark I'm making, I'm trying to think about and develop a sense about the object. So even when I was drawing this the candlestick, with like the bracelet lines, and it's like wider at the bottom than at the top, when I drew the line, I was thinking wax. I was connecting with my experience of a wax candle, and thinking about, it's got that like smooth waxy feel. It's semi-transparent. It smells a certain way. And even when it's when it's lit, I was really trying to like bring my sensibility to the candle. And then I'm doing the same thing with the cloud. So I know it sounds not like essential, but like when I'm drawing these clouds, I really am remembering clouds, thinking about clouds and airplanes, like drawing the edge, knowing that it's like water vapor. I really do, try to not just make a curve because, it's like just a generic way of representing a cloud. I'm trying to bring more to it. And it does make a difference when you have the nameable object and, bringing a little bit of experience to that object as you're drawing it, whatever it is. And if it's something you've never drawn before, that's when you try to think of something that you have drawn before. And then you associate it. Mhm. I don't know about you all, but we have a little bit of time. I'm getting kind of close. Would you guys be up for drawing the sword? It's been on the page the whole time. Hopefully somebody just attempted it. There's I did an Albrecht Dürer sword earlier in the week, and this one is like not as impressive, but it's still pretty cool. Let me see if I can show you. I did it. It was like 8 feet long because I did it on the chalkboard at school.
Oh, yeah, that was great. Yeah, it was quite nice.
Yeah. Okay. Here it is. There's Xavier and Min. There's that sword though. It had like the most elaborate handle. It was awesome. I mean, and you can see how big it is. I mean, this chalkboard is
Yeah.
enormous. And Xavier, he's the one in the mask. He was standing on his tippy toes. He saw the picture. He's like, "Oh man, I thought it was going to be taller." But yeah, sketching the swords is going to be sweet. All right, so let's do. It's 11:48. Let's do 2 more minutes on these clouds, and maybe everybody's done already. I'm just going to finish off the dark cloud silhouette. Ooh, Bella's. Can you guys hear Bella's barking down there? And I know that it would take longer for me to put in all these horizontal lines, but I really want to do the sword.
Oh, you're stuck, Tuck. Okay.
Yeah, and this pen's been working hard for me too. So the reason you don't want to use a thin pen for thick lines is because you make the pen work too hard. It doesn't want to make thick lines. It's like, I'm a little pen. I want to make little lines. And you just want to be compatible with its nature. And that's kind of true for most art materials. Not that they. And the other thing about art materials is that they want to be used. I had this complex where I'd buy really nice, or I'd get nice materials, or I'd get a nice tube of paint that I loved. It was so gorgeous, but I coveted it in a way that like I would never use it because I'm like, oh no, it's too nice. I don't want to waste it. And yes, you want to like respect your art materials, but you also don't want them to feel like, you don't want to feel like they're so nice and so expensive that you can never use them, and then they never get made into art, and then they dry up or something. And then when you're in the art store, this is what I tell people, is like, when you're in the art store buying materials, try to get, be conscious of how much things cost and try to get a good deal and everything. But then be aware of the money. But then once you get home and it's time to create, like, you can't be thinking about like, oh my God, this paper costs, 75 cents, per sheet. So, you know what I mean? Or $5 per sheet. You just gotta like, you let the art guide you and not like the cost of the materials.
I've let that,
Whatever, whatever
I've-
art you're doing
yeah.
is going to be worth way more than the cost of materials. Artists have been seen kind of in the context of alchemists. And alchemy is when you know the science of like attempting to turn lead into gold. And in a way, you know, in a metaphorical way, artists are kind of alchemists. I mean, you take paper, that this piece of paper might be worth, you know, 10 cents. And then the amount of ink that was on here, it's called a $2 pen. You use like 10, you know, 1/10 of that pen to make the drawing, you know, so you're whatever, 25 cents. So I'm using like 35 cents worth of materials roughly. And you know, you make a piece that someone might pay $10 for, or $100 for, or $1,000 for. So when you take the materials and you arrange them, you take the colors and arrange them in a way that is just substantially more pleasing and more valuable to other people. You know, the art has a value that's way more than the raw materials. And in a way, you're taking 30 cents and you're making something that's worth $10 or $100. And that is a form of kind of alchemy where you're taking things that are not valuable, rearranging them into things that are valuable. That was kind of a long-winded explanation, but I love my clouds. Thank you for playing with me today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed it. Whatever materials you're using, I just wanted to show that just basic pen and ink, you know, can create, you know, something that's really quite naturally beautiful and very dimensional. Okay, so that was 2 minutes longer than I expected. I'm going to, should we just try to sketch let's just try to sketch the sword. And then we'll have a quick critique at the end. Yes. I mean, that sword is his voice. I mean, I think it is. I mean, that would be weird if it wasn't. Okay. All right. So the way I did my sword in the classroom is I started with one thin line, and that thin line is going to link up every component of this sword. So one of the parts is going to be the handle. And then the other part is going to be the guard. So that makes a perpendicular. Nice, 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 nice. Okay, so here we go. We've got what I think is basically 3 parts. We have the handle, we have the blade, and then we have the hand guard. And let's go from there. The handle is divided into 2 component parts. So there's like a grip, and then the kind of like a triangular design that leads into the butt of the sword, which I think can be like almost used as like a hammer tool by itself. Anyway, so the butt of it is a circle, and that's an outer circle, and then it has an inner circle, which is nice. The grip, where I pinched it in, that has looks like it's layered probably with like leather, could be chain, could be metal, could be a cord, but it's like it's a striated textured surface that your hand can like really grab onto. I think you guys can see it. Yeah, there's like little studded, almost like could be gems, who knows, transition from the grip into the metal butt.
Yeah.
And that has a triangle, beautiful design. Almost reminds me of the stars. Yeah, the part, one of the components of the stars. I will well, right before we finish this, I'll move over. The hand of this god character, he's holding like basically a hand full of stars, the ones that we drew. I don't want to change it yet because I want to finish this. Okay, so then there's the grip has like, it looks like, you know, basically three parts. There's the center of the guard. And then there's the go itself.
Sorry about that.
That's cool. It looks as though we can see a little bit of the bottom of the guard, definitely on the left side. So I'm just gonna not get too hung up on that, but I am gonna shade the bottom of the guard, just like thicken that line so that it implies that there's a bottom, like a bottom plane. And then that's so awesome. Okay, what I was gonna say is that, remember we did the small, when we did those stars in the beginning, there's like a small V triangle and then a long thin triangle. That seems to be echoed here. So you start with like a V at the base of the sword blade, and then you get the top of the blade angling in, the bottom of the blade angling in. My blade looks more like a dagger, but what am I supposed to do? I mean, it's the zoom. I have to fit it in here. And there's a ridge down the middle, just like the star. Okay, and then there's looks like there's another gem or some like dot, could be a moment in the middle.
Excuse me.
You're excused. And then the bottom blade, I guess, is a little bit thicker. I don't know why. I don't know why the line weight is different, but the line weight on the sword, the outside line is much darker than anything inside, it looks like. Yeah, on the blade at least. I'm gonna redo the butt, because I think I did really nice in the grip and like that studded transition, but I feel like I did not do very well with the. Looks like you can see a little bit of the side of that disc, the disc, the butt edge of the sword, that disc edge. All right, well. Ooh, are those bracelet lines? They are bracelet lines.
Excuse me.
And then I think that handle looks like it's a little bit thicker on the bottom too. My sword is so wonky. Oh, that's sad. Why is it? How did it get so wonky? I think this part, when I redid this part, I didn't follow the center line. Okay, let me do it one more time. All right, I'm gonna follow my center line. That's why the center lines are so important. You don't have the center line, then things get off track. Is that tighter? A little bit tighter. Okay. You guys want this? Take a screenshot of it. This is Albrecht Dürer. Dürer is spelled D-U-R-E-R, and then the U's have that little that German, the two dots. You may even know the name of those things. D-U-R-E-R. Albrecht Dürer. This is the vision of the 7 candlesticks. I'm looking at the script. I can't tell what's written in the book. But the beard is epic. The fabric is up. I mean, everything about his work is incredible. That was a little sidebar thing. I'm most interested in your clouds. Let's see what we got.
Today is the 1st of November, yes?
I think so. Why?
Yeah, welcome to November. Just making a notation for sending you this information. Need the date.
Oh, for the pictures. Simone, did you think we were drawing the dragon? Did
Yeah, I
say
did.
we were drawing? Did I say we were drawing the dragon? I thought I said I didn't want to draw the dragon. Crap. Can I make you a promise? We'll draw the dragon next week.
Sure, that works.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just saw your chat right now that the class is over. I will show you the angry moon. Let me show you this angry moon that I'm strangely like want to draw the moon
Oh,
angry like that.
wow.
And then there's the sun on the other side. The sun on the other side is not quite as angry, but
He looks kind
equally
of depressed, I'm
angry.
not gonna lie.
What's that?
He looks
Yeah.
a little bit depressed.
Yeah, or like confused or like not well fed or not enough sleep. Oh my gosh, the sun never sleeps. That's why I look so weird, because it's always daytime for the sun. Yeah, so and then this is like the heavens are like raining like hellfire down onto the people, the sinners.
Wow, it really is raining down.
Yeah. So the sun and the moon have to deal with that, I guess. So yeah, so these are all falling, and I don't know what the title of this one is either, but everyone in heaven seems pretty chill. They don't seem as concerned.
They're
as
happy.
as this lady. That's not a happy family.
Oh my gosh, the 3 on the 4 of them.
Okay, I'm gonna stop the share. Albrecht Dürer, there's people that spend their entire lives like studying this guy.
Really?
That's a nice. Look at that. That's a nice sword. Almost the same sword. Stop share. All right, Ellie and Simone. I have both of you guys pinned. I might just do 2 people at once because it's getting afternoon. Ooh, nice, Ellie.
Simone.
yeah.
Oh, I don't see yours yet.
Mm,
Nice.
yeah, that column is so good. All right, great. I'm glad you did.
Oh,
I'm glad you
Ellie.
did.
Did you have yours up, Ellie?
Yeah.
See how nice that is? Yeah, the white chalk on
Yeah.
black paper. I mean, that really feels like a star.
Can
You're
you
a
hold
star.
yours up again really fast, Ellie? Your clouds? Excellent. Thank you. Oh, I like it.
Amelia, I've got
The,
you next. Oh yes, nice layers, nice sword. That's a happy
Yes,
happy
happy
fun too.
sword.
Thank you. Good one. All right, Fishers. I got you up next, bud. Hello, team.
So I kind of combined all of them into one,
Good.
including a dragon. So
Whether you like it or not, we're drawing a dragon. Can you move it? Okay, it's getting in focus
That's
now.
not
Whoa,
focus.
that's
There
great.
we
Yeah,
go.
Kristen,
That's in focus.
looks great. All right, let's see your
Yeah.
brothers. That thing's awesome. Mhm, mhm, mhm.
So this is what I
Oh.
did just now,
Cool.
and
That's really gorge.
the candle reminded me of a drawing I did a few days ago. Right.
Dara and Sebastian, you're next, by the way. I think you froze.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did that a couple days ago. That poor
Yeah.
Candle. He's not happy about his being lit. He is lit. All right,
I'm
replace
melting.
pin, and then it's a great drawing though. Add pin. Okay, I got Sebastian and Dara. Let's see them. We're going 2 at a time.
Nice.
Holy
Yeah.
crap. All right. I don't know if you guys are all just like really smart or whether I'm like the best art teacher in the world, but
Dara,
something. It's one of those things. All right, Madeline, let's
Dara?
see.
Dara,
there a
can you
question?
hold that up?
Oh, darn it. Yeah. Madeline, I'm looking at yours though.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
I think I see a diagram coming up, Madeline. Yes.
I saw like
Okay,
a crazy
cool.
collage of clouds and then a sword.
Yeah. There's something really powerful about that sword. Yeah, that collage was awesome. I will look at this. Well, maybe I won't. Maybe I will. Okay, I will.
Hold that up again, your collage, please. Thank you.
Action Jackson, you're next. Place pin. Great work, Madeline. And I'm gonna try to look up this photo.
There you are.
You're on mute, but
Oh,
that's a great page.
yeah.
There's something very sci-fi about all of it. You know what I mean? Mystical even. Cool. I love your clouds. Very interesting. And like the whole composition is really nice too. All right, so who we got? Naomi, let's do it. Naomi, Noah, Janaya. I think that'll round us off. I'm trying to find this picture so that you can see it. Yeah, I'm looking for Naomi. Replace.
Oh, here she is. Wow, we got some movement going on there.
Yeah, and I like the shaded clouds, and that's a nice page. Yeah, the candles work really nicely as that focal point in the design, and then 3D letters.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Noah, and then Janaya.
I don't love this one, but that's what I got.
Well,
Hold it a
it's
little
clean.
bit
Oh my God, that
closer.
sword's great too.
No.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like you may not have loved doing it, but you got the point. So hopefully it's a seed that can be planted and turned into something at some point. It's a nice piece
Can
though.
you hold that up again, a little closer to you this time? And a little further up. Yep. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's actually a really nice drawing. Okay, who we got next, Janaya?
Oh, nice.
Mhm. Yeah, the column works so nicely, and then it really goes back into space on that side. Also, a very mystical feel, like all of the compositions have a real, unique. They got an interesting vibe today, and I think it's an issue of Dürer, just having it be Dürer. Ellie, did you show yours? Did we get a picture of yours?
Yeah.
We show it again real quick. Oh yeah, hold on, just show it again. Yeah, that's a great sword.
Yeah, I like where your blade is hitting the ground.
Okay, so people, I can't, I'm having a difficult time finding this thing. It reminded me of Madeline's piece. There's a how-to book on clouds. It's by a landscape painter. It's really good. Oh, I think I'm coming to it. Yeah, there it is. Just let me show it to you and then we'll go, I promise. Screen share. And then we might even dig into one of these scenes later.
Wow.
And I feel bad because I actually don't even know the artist's name. But it breaks this breaks this composition down into like elevations. So like the
Yeah.
nature of clouds, you know, at 5,000 feet versus 10,000 feet versus 15, and then like he names them all like within the, you know, the stratosphere or whatever. Anyway, this information is out there and artists have tackled it. And you know, there's just because we drew clouds, you know, Albrecht Dürer's clouds, there are other ways to tackle that subject, and hopefully this will give us a good like kind of a benchmark to explore it. Anyway, that was fun. Thank you for working so hard,
Did we
everybody.
get everyone? Simone, did we
Um,
get you?
Yeah, we
You
got
got me.
Okay, we got everyone?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, y'all, I gotta roll. I guess Ellie, we'll probably
Thank
see
you
you in a couple minutes. Anybody else? All right, see you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Thank you.
Thank
Ciao.
you.